Governor Ibikunle Amosun there, given the honors to close trading for today, Thursday, at the Nigeria Stock Exchange. Of course, our reporter, live for us, had hinted earlier that the governor of Ogun State was being expected today to on a courtesy visit, and of course would be given the honors now of ringing the closing gong. Of course, we will also go to the nitty-gritty of business today at the Nigeria Stock Exchange during the course of the program. You're welcome to Business Nigeria. I am Kemi Fola Adeyemo. Let's take you through the major happenings in the world of business. As Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi says, the Lagos-Ibadan standard gauge rail line will be completed in December 2018 to be ready for commissioning in January 2019. According to the minister, who revealed this at the during the inspection of the standard gauge rail line in Pakpa-Alanto, Ogun State, the contractors were facing some challenges that are slowing the pace of work, but he says all these are being addressed. Amechi further said the Jibowu and Costain bridges in Lagos would be demolished during the process, adding that the ministry had gotten the right of way. And the Transport Minister also responded now to questions on stacking bays for cargoes and empty containers from the seaports. Moving on now, Nigeria's trade value in exports increased to more than 3.5 billion naira in the third quarter of the year, representing an increase of about 13% over the second quarter of 2017. Well, a report released by the National Bureau of Statistics in Abuja on Wednesday this week revealed that exports in the agricultural sector valued in the second quarter of the year 2017, the third quarter, I should say, stood at over 38% lower than that of the second quarter of the year, but more than 25% than in the third quarter of 2016. Well, for solid minerals, exports there valued for the third quarter of the year increased by 85% compared to the second quarter of the year. But we'll bring you more on Business Nigeria and, of course, get our man this time around from the Nigeria Export Promotion Council to talk about all this during the course of the program. Please stay with us. All right, you're welcome back to Business Nigeria. Now, earlier in the program, of course, before we went on that break now, we revealed now latest figures from the National Bureau of Statistics, wherein revealed that trade balance had peaked. But specifically for the course of our discussions today, now exports in the third quarter of the year stands at 3.57 trillion naira. And of course, we reeled out a couple of other figures now, but then let's introduce the regional coordinator of the NEPC, that's the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, Babatunde Faleke, to talk about what all these figures translate for Nigeria. Thanks a lot for joining us this hour. Babatunde Faleke, it's a pleasure to have you again.
Thank you so much for having me around.
With the breakdown now of these figures now, let's have your introductory remarks. What this mean now for the performance of the non-oil products and exports in the country so far?
Well, from the analysis so far, it shows that we are coming up, that Nigeria is getting it right. Our campaign over the year and since we began this journey this year is scale up production. And let's behave as we don't have oil. Let's concentrate on non-oil, looking at agriculture, and in particular adding value. And that's what we are getting. Result is good, not too good, but we are not where we are used to be. Everybody's embracing the campaign of promoting non-oil, because for now, the only solution, the only panacea to recovery is promotion of non-oil. And like as the president have declared, we should start behaving as we don't have oil. And if we do that with the oil sector, we try to scale up production and move the sector forward. The truth is that we'll get better results in the nearest future.
Indeed. Now, of course, one is mindful of all the efforts of your agency during the course of the year. But then if we look at the nitty-gritty of this particular report now, the latest for the third quarter, we still see crude oil, getting a chunk of the export earnings at 83.17%. Going by the figures we have now, we've seen the figures for agriculture and for the solid minerals. But then crude oil's earnings from exports still stands taller.
Yeah, it won't be overnight achievement. It won't be overnight. It used to be over 90 before, but now it's something we are getting there gradually. It's not going to be, don't forget, we just came out of a recession, so many challenges. The drive at which we move the export sector, there are a lot of challenges. Infrastructure challenges is still there, a lot of cost of funding. The dollar somersault until recently, it was something else when we started the year, but it's stable now. So it's not an overnight thing, but it's a gradual step. It's slow but steady. Slow but steady.
All right. And then, okay, let's also look at, the non-oil sector now that, you have addressed the concern from the crude oil. But then in agriculture and our goods from that sector didn't do so well, as against solid minerals. Let's begin with, agriculture. Explain to us now the rise and fall.
Yeah, the rise and fall is due to some technicalities. And I will tell you it's because of standard. A lot of problems we're having over there now because of some sharp practices by the players in the industry. You recall of recent that hibiscus started having problems. Why? Because the player at that sector start playing some sharp practices, which we are addressing now. The issue is that a lot of ban on this, ban on that is affecting us negatively. But that as may be the case, is still being addressed. The issue is compliance, which we are addressing through technical engagement of the players at that sector. So this could amount for that, because a lot of things are happening there that is not just good. The players are not following the system. The procedure is terrible. But then we are looking at that, and we are engaging every players, including the institutional representative over there, that things need to change. And what we need to do is to play according to the rule. Playing according to the rule, make sure the quality is right, make sure the quantity is enough, make sure that everything that has to do with agriculture is standardized. So the issue of standardization and no compliance to regulations could play a lot of factor. And then again, the problem of infrastructure, you imagine now the Apapa issue in terms of moving of goods is an issue which is beyond any exporter. You want to export the agriculture is perishable. So if these are not addressed, you move your goods and it's not able to leave the shore of the country. I mean, you run to losses. So people don't want to engage that. So there are challenges on infrastructure, but it's being addressed. It's being addressed. It's not as if it's a bad situation.
Right.
It will scale up.
All right, noted. But then, away from this latest figure, let's also look at some other, another look of your mandate now. This time around, if we, ponder or talk about this Africa Growth and Opportunities Act. Now, of course, opportunities have been given to many African countries, of which Nigeria is included. And now we even see it extending to the year 2025. But tell us now, it's going to be a two-way thing now. How much have Nigeria tapped into the immense opportunities here to sell our stuff now, to sell our exports basically to the larger American market, and are our products even good enough for the market over there? Yeah,
let me start from the good enough, the product. The products are good enough, very good enough, and because we, over the years, for the last 4 years, we've been consistent in showcasing Nigeria fashion brand at Magic Show in Las Vegas, and it's doing very well. But the main issue we have, which is a policy issue, is about quantity. For instance, if there is an order for a T-shirt for about 500,000, not many Nigerian player can supply that. It's highly technical. Addressing that, we are trying to see how a hub could be created. So benefiting from AGUA, yes, we are not there yet, but every step is being taken because we work with USAID, the trade hub in Ghana to work to make sure that we disseminate information about technicalities and documentation. Yeah, quite challenging. But you discover that the problem with AGUA is really not about product not qualified or not good enough, but it's about supply. Because, for example, if Walmart is taking supply, it will be in millions. And when you look at that, how many Nigerian companies can come to that? And that's where I say, look, please, let's come together. Let there be a policy that will create a hub for production of something en masse.
Because your submission is rather surprising. Because, for example, now this same example of the fashion industry is bustling. There's a lot of activities in the fashion industry. So what is stopping our people over here now, from having a pool of, ready-made clothing and all?
It's ready-made, yeah. Yes, the ready-made is there. And you look at the likes of Rough and Tumble doing very well. But the point is that I've just mentioned that if an order is placed in US now for a large quantity, so we don't have the hub. We don't have the hub. The one that looks like it is the Cross River State government, garment industries for now. So the issue is that we need to create a hub to be able to meet that demand. The demand is there. It's amazing. It's so big. But the point is that, are we technically equipped to do that? We are not. Is
this the same issue now with the Aba market, where leatherware now is, everybody knows that when it comes to leatherware in Nigeria, Aba is the place to go?
Yes, but how coordinated is Aba? How coordinated is Aba? The point is that Aba is the place to go, but when you come to compliance to international standards, it's not there yet. And that's why government is trying to create a hope that, look, this eye is going to be played, because players over there need to follow some regulations, including environmental regulations, including standardization, including good processing, method. So for now, yes, it's the but, and that's where we're engaged. Even that industry, we are trying to see how we can scale up skills. We started something with Femi Word of Bags in terms of training people on how to make handbags, but in large quantity. Because the problem is providing the quantity. The quality is there, like I used to say, is there. But producing en masse to satisfy that market is what we are working on. Every stakeholder is being engaged to make sure that
another noteworthy segment now of this discussion now would be what the council, the NEPC in Nigeria, has done for women. In the news lately had been the training program organized by the council now in coordination with the ITC, the International Trade Center. What was response like, targeting the women in the She Trades initiative?
Yeah, before then, the NEPC on its own has a gender program we call Women in Export Initiative, which we do. But the She Trade is not a kind of applause, a kind of ice on the cake that, look, we will do that. And the target is to make sure that 1 million women are involved in export. And this has to do with capacity building, make sure that they are involved in trading. And of recent, we work with ITC to make sure that the program is popularized and it's going to go around the region, go around the states, that every
states of the federation.
Yeah. We started from the southwest. The next one will be south and the north central, all over, to make sure that all women that are engaged in trading activities should be captured and they will be exposed internationally to goods to export.
Okay, is that it for the year, as per this She Trades initiative now?
Come again?
Is that it for the year?
No. Okay. For it is for the year, but next quarter will roll out because this year is over already.
Okay, so for women who are not aware of this program now, I heard you say you must have a business already that you
must
run.
Have a business.
So what else should a woman look out for?
Yeah, we're also looking at training, and that's where we're getting stakeholders. For example, one of the partners has promised to train some women coming from next year, specifically training just tailored at women on how to improve their capacity and how to enhance their productivity and how to tell them how to go about it, and then mapping them to products all over the world so that we can do some mapping about what needs to be done, how to be doing it, where is the market, and do some B2B and creating some business forum and clusters to ensure that women are very, very involved and most involved in the economy as economic player.
But programs like this on a national scale now, what goes on in one state may not always go on in the other state in terms of organization. It might be well in Lagos, but may not be so. So what is the agency, the council now doing to ensure that bottlenecks are removed to the barest minimum and the women, have it good all the way?
The truth is that there is no state without a women group. So NEPC will not work alone. NEPC works with the women organization in every state, and the relationships based on needs assessment. What do they have there? Like you say, we don't have the same potential, we don't have the same resources, but so the address will be tailored towards the need of that state. And like I said, we work, like Nasima has virtually a women group in every state. So also City Chambers of Commerce has women group, women wings. So NEPC will not work alone. NEPC will work with the women group
so
in each state.
Not on an individual basis.
Not on an individual basis.
Right now, well, would you say it's been a good year then now for NEPC?
It's been a good year.
Challenges-wise?
Yeah, challenges where there are issues, but then it's not stopping us.
Right.
It's not stopping us.
Babatunde Faleke, Regional Coordinator of the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you
of course, for your work. Wish you all the best. Thanks again.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
After the break, TVC News business reporter Yusuf Akogun will be live for us to bring us updates of today's proceedings at the Nigeria stock market. Please stay with us. Hello again, you're watching Business Nigeria on TVC News. The Standards Organization of Nigeria is set to review the Nigerian industrial standards for cement production in the country. The agency has now convened a technical committee to ascertain the standards development process for cement production in line with global best practices. This committee is made up of a cross-section of all relevant organizations in the building construction industry who have been given the mandate to identify the various timelines and principles that define the procedures and guidelines for cement production in the country. Findings will be forwarded to the Standards Council for further consideration.
The use of cement cuts across all aspects of our lives that are very important, that if care is not taken will be dangerous if it is not done very well. So that is why we have come here today to also look at this the standard for cement, to make sure that it covers all these areas, the usages, to ensure that every aspect of anywhere the cement is used is covered by the standard.
We have a global benchmark with which to work with, and the most important thing now is to make sure the standards we have in Nigeria on cement complies with international best practices. We are concentrating on the cement brands that are available worldwide and what we can have here in Nigeria. So definitely we think we need more type of cement, and today's work is that, directed at trying to develop those type of standards that manufacturers in Nigeria should comply with.
And chartered administrators in the country want governments to involve professionals in the quest to rebuild the country. They argue this has been a challenge bedeviling the growth of the Nigerian economy, particularly at the time of economic growth and recovery. We have more in this report.
Institute of Administration is a professional and examining body with an act empowering the institute to regulate the training and practice of administrators within professional framework throughout the country. Experts say no professional qualification is complete without administrative proficiency, as administration cuts across all professions. It is against this backdrop that the president of the Administrators Institute stressed to new members the need for government at all levels to involve more professionals in governance.
The economy has to do with every facet of our human resource. But as administrators, we anchor whatever the other guys are doing, so that together we can achieve some more value for the economy. See, the economy has gone bad. The global economy is bad as well. So it is not, how would I say, restricted to Nigeria. So the total global economy is bad. However, because these are very well-trained administrators, they will manage the resources around them with them in order to achieve more value.
The major problem of this country is maladministration. The moment it is taken care of, corruption will be taken care of it, because it's a system. The moment you have the correct administrative system and put the right people there, of course, it's part of administration. Putting the right people, square pegs in square holes and all that.
a lawmaker representing Ondo State, agreed that Nigeria will record remarkable growth in all facets of the economy if the right policies and persons.
All right, apologies for that. Now, let's a quick crossover now to the stock market where Yusuf Akogun is live for us.
Thank you, Kemi. Good afternoon and welcome to Nigerian Stock Exchange. Well, the market closed in the negative territory today, Thursday, by 1.56% negative. But I have with me in the studio here the Executive Governor of Ogun State, His Excellency Senator Ibikule Amosu. Good afternoon and welcome to TVC, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon. Thank
You are in the capital market today. Tell us the reason for your visit.
First, it is to see the possibilities that there are here. You know, for any government, be it national, sub-national level, to get it right, it must be private sector driven. And this is the home of the private sector. This is where the capital is, this is where the fund is, this is where the long-term finance is. And that is why we're here. And you know, with what is happening now, we are diversifying our economy. And for any economic to tick, the infrastructures must be in place. We have this huge deficit of infrastructure back home. Not just even Ogun State alone. It's not. This is a Nigerian problem. Years after years, infrastructures have been neglected. So for us to do that, you need money for those critical infrastructures that are very strategic for development. Whether it's road, whether it's rail, whether it's even air transportation, whether it's water, whether it's security, whether it's even housing, whether it's all of those things that you need for economic to thrive. So those are what we're doing. That's why I brought us here. And I'm happy and I'm thankful to the president, the council member, the CEO, the council member, and of course all the management staff and the traders as well. I'm grateful to them. They've given us the opportunity now. Yes, we have always known that there's this opportunity here, but you don't just come to the capital market without maybe preparing yourself for it. I think we are now more than ready for the capital market, and that's why we're here. With our IGRAP that is coming up, we're now doing 6-7 billion monthly. Yes, we can come. And we cannot come when we are sub 1 billion monthly. Now I think we can come. People are now believing in us. They know we have the capacity now. I mean, so and that's why we're here.
Yeah, Your Excellency, that is quite well. Talking about the IGR, that is where I was actually going to. You came in, when you came in, it was around 72 million naira, and now it's
about 700
million
monthly. Now we are doing 6-7 billion
naira when you came in. Now, what are you putting any measures in place that when you live in future, Ogun State will no longer depend on federal allocation?
No, truly, since I think our second year in office, we started generating more than what the federal government was giving us, even when the environment was clement in financial environment. Now that they are not even giving any, I mean, quote and unquote, very, I mean, insignificant, very small patry sum. For example, now we generate, Ogun State generates between 78-79% of what we do every month, and we collect 20-21% from the federal government. So now we are pushing such that probably we'll be generating 90-something%. Whatever comes from the federal government just as well. If it doesn't come, we don't lose sleep, even though we know it's our right to collect. And the only way to go is to continue on this IGR improvement drive. And that cannot happen when people are not paying taxes. I don't know, maybe you live within the corridors of Ogun State. You don't pay your taxes. Do you pay your taxes to Ogun State?
Yes, I do, sir.
You live in Ogun State?
I live in Lagos State.
You live in Lagos State, okay. Yes, but if you live in Ogun State, within the corridors of please pay your taxes to Ogun State, because you put pressure on all our infrastructures. We spend money to do all this, so you must pay your taxes where you reside.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It's really a pleasure to have you on TVC.
You, me too.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that's it from us at the Stock Exchange. Back to you in the studio.
Yusuf Akogun, thanks a lot for the updates now, and of course that interview with the Governor of Ogun State. Well, that's it on Business Nigeria for today. Please join us again tomorrow for the final edition for the week. I am Kemi Fola Adeyemo. Thank you for watching. Stand by now for The World Now with Busolami Tuashi.